Chair, AB 505 ensures the state is being consistent with its efforts to shift from a corrections model to a more appropriate health-based approach when dealing with our incarcerated youth. In 2020, we passed a budget bill which created the Office of Youth and Community Restoration to help transform the juvenile justice system from corrections-based to health-based. We also created an ombudsperson responsible for investigating violations of youth rights in the juvenile justice system. The legislature has moved to close all youth prisons. So starting this year, all incarcerated youth will be held at county facilities. As part of this challenge, the state provides more than $200 million annually to counties to care for youth. In order to receive the funding, counties must submit a plan including certain elements describing how they'll meet the needs of youth. However, there is little accountability that as a state we can actually impose. So our bill, AB 505, clarifies and strengthens accountability, ensures county plans are consistent with health-based approaches, remove barriers that hinder the ombudsperson from effectively investigating complaints and accessing youth, and shifts all youth-related duties from the Board of State and Community Corrections to OYCR. Youth justice advocates and formerly incarcerated youth have spent countless hours and months helping develop the language to create a comprehensive youth justice system that appropriately and thoughtfully meets the needs of our incarcerated youth to ensure their success. With that, I have one witness and one person here to answer any technical questions. So I have Michael Mendoza from the Anti-Recidivism Coalition.
Thank you, Assembly Member. Thank you, Chairman Jones Sawyer and members of the committee. My name is Michael Mendoza with the Anti-Recidivism Coalition here in support. In 2020, the legislature and the governor set California on course to transform the youth justice system from a corrections-based model to a health and healing and opportunities for growth. Much has happened since that time. Counties have developed and are refining their plans to meet the needs of youth. The first ever state office of youth justice, the Office of Community and Restoration, the Office of Youth and Community Restoration started up. And in just a little over 2 months, California will close the state juvenile halls. However, over the last 2.5 years, it has also become clear that clarification of OYCR's role and authority are needed. This is to be expected. It is a big transformation, and it is important that the legislature analyze how it's going and make adjustments before things get off track. AB 505 corrects and fills those gaps. It is an essential next step to ensure that the transformation of youth justice that this body envisioned goes right. I remember clearly what it was like to be very young and very alone in a small, dark cell of a juvenile hall. Those walls tell you no one cares. I look back and know now that was a moment when I needed the state's support the most. This is what AB 505 is about, the state being there for youth. OYCR is key to making this work, and AB 505 does 3 things. It makes sure the new youth ombudsperson can talk to youth right away when they file a complaint. Existing law requires a 48-hour waiting period for the ombudsperson to talk with youth, access records, or go into facilities. A lot can go wrong within 48 hours, especially when the complaint is about physical or sexual abuse. Importantly, much of AB 505 ombudsperson language is lifted directly from another California law, the Foster Youth Ombudsperson. AB 505 requires OYCR to review and approve county plans to spend the $200 million they get from the state. Existing law allows counties to get realignment funds even if their plans don't reference a single element required by law. This bill ensures accountability for taxpayer dollars. Finally, AB 505 makes state government more efficient and effective by streamlining all youth justice functions with OYCR. Right now, some key functions are in the Adult Corrections Focused Office, the BSCC, a legacy of the Schwarzenegger era when the state youth justice was placed under CDCR. It is common sense to unify all state youth-related tasks under the state office created to handle youth justice, OYCR. It is efficient and effective. We've all heard that there's a crisis in Los Angeles happening right now in juvenile halls. But it is not just LA. Just 2 weeks ago, during a convening focused on juvenile halls, we heard reports on conditions in 17 different counties: overdoses, lack of mental health services, insufficient programming, retaliation for attempting to reach the ombudsperson, and violence. But OYCR has no authority to act, and the BSCC has only one tool: the nuclear option of shutting down the halls. Also, the BSCC has zero authority to make any kind of finding on the suitability of secure youth treatment facilities. This means our highest need youth have no state oversight at all. AB 505 would provide options other than a full shutdown, ways to support change at the local level before things get too bad. It is so clearly needed and needed right now. Now is the moment to ensure youth justice transformation you envisioned stays on course. And AB 505 will do that, and I urge your aye vote.